Welcome, everybody, to the Straight Shooter Wrestling Podcast. I'm one half of your host, Santi. Steve, how are you?
Not too bad, buddy. We've got hundreds of people watching us live across all of our platforms for what we do. I think is kind of unique, man, that we live stream these full recordings for everyone who's really into Straight Shoot to get like the full, behind the scenes aspect of everything. So this is a unique one because Santi, we are officially at the end of the road. The exits is 2 exits away to the road to WrestleMania. Dude, are you excited?
Dude, I'm pumped. On paper, in my lifetime, I haven't seen, and when I say my lifetime, as a wrestling fan, like what I've been watching of wrestling, on paper, this is the best WrestleMania card I've ever seen. On paper. Purely on paper. We have seen great WrestleMania cards go complete to shit, and then we've seen terrible WrestleMania cards like WrestleMania 31 turn into absolute beautiful diamonds that are going to be talked about for the next 20 plus years. So again, when I talk about things on paper, I want people to take what I say with not just a grain of salt, but an entire truckload of salt. But today's episode, we are going to be giving you folks our predictions on the entire WrestleMania 39 card taking place in the stadium of my hometown favorite NFL team, the Los Angeles Chargers. Go Bolts, in SoFi Stadium out of Los Angeles, California. Steve, WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. And before we start with the matches, initial thoughts of The Miz being our host of WrestleMania this year?
Dude, you already know my thoughts on this. I cannot stand that The Miz is the host because we're going to get like 3 or 4 segments of this man. It's going to be annoying, but
they're all going to be gold.
Yes, but I have a feeling there is a stunner in his future, or 3. I have a feeling that we could get a choke slam. I think The Miz is going to get the absolute garbage beat out of him at WrestleMania. So I think that's the only reason I'm looking forward to The Miz being the host of WrestleMania.
I mean, you must just not live a very fun life, man. The Miz is amazing. And everybody should be happy that The Miz is hosting WrestleMania. I will not take any Miz slander on this live recording, okay?
You do know who your partner in this is, right?
Yeah. All right, let's get this going here because we've got a long match card to go through. And let's just start off with how the night is going to be starting. We're going to be starting off with the United States Championship match. Austin Theory coming in as the champion versus John Cena, the legend, returning from a short hiatus. You know my answer. I mean, I'm already kind of wearing the gear. Yep. We'll dive into my answer here in just a second, but when you see Austin Theory versus Cena, what are your thoughts on the build initially, and who do you think is winning this?
Like you and I talked about this last time, Austin Theory really had to do a lot to build this. Like, obviously Cena buried him in that promo, and now we had the Thunderdome promo recently on Raw. Theory has done okay. I don't think it's been good enough for the caliber of what this match is going to be, because this is, like we said, this is Austin Theory's coming out party. He's been told to put his big boy pants on, and I think he got one leg in, then he forgot how to do a zipper maybe, but like, it's just not enough for me. So the match needs to deliver for me. 100%. This match needs to deliver. So I'm not feeling it. So the fact that it's opening up night 1, there is so much pressure on Theory, and I don't know if he's feeling it, but I'm not feeling his promos.
I think he's fumbled it. Yep. You and I talked about this, that Theory has been given the easiest home run in his life to be able to hype up this match and create excitement, because I called it, and so did you, that Cena was not going to be there on a weekly basis for him to be able to bounce off of. It was just going to be himself an eye. Like, that's it. Like, that's all he had. And I just don't think that he did enough to get us excited about this match. Even his empty arena promo, just, it was good, but I think it was just a little too late, frankly, because I mean, it's a week before WrestleMania, and on top of that, like the previous matches before that, he was just getting clowned on by the Street Profits in backstage segments. So what I was hoping for was to get this very serious Austin Theory that was going to take what Cena said to heart and realize that, yeah, he is the one that has everything to lose. And unfortunately, in his promos, I'm not feeling that Theory believes that he has everything to lose, but really he genuinely does. And because he hasn't done a great job of building this feud up with John Cena's absence, the only thing that it can really deliver in is in the ring. And I'm concerned that it won't deliver in the ring because John Cena hasn't wrestled regularly for years.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, Santi. I don't know if you've been watching WWE Legends on A&E, the stuff that we helped talk about earlier this month. But there was a similar aspect to Roman Reigns when he was put in the position with Brock Lesnar. He really didn't know who he was, but he knew the business wanted to put their name behind, put the brand behind Roman and make him the big dog. This was obviously pre-pandemic. I have a feeling this is the similar thing that Austin Theory still doesn't really know who he is. He does it. He's trying. He got rid of the selfie stick and he's got this more badass, angry persona. But I still don't think Austin Theory really believes he is who he is. And I think this is another reason he has really dropped the ball with this build.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of wild to think that, Cena was there for 10% of the build. And he's generated 100% of the excitement for this match. That's not good. That is not good at all. Look at the inverse of what was last year, right? Kevin Owens being asked to build a match on his own without the presence of Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he got us hyped for what we didn't know for sure was even a match. It was just going to be a talk show segment. That, I think, shows the caliber of WWE superstar that Kevin Owens is versus somebody who might still be a little bit too green in Austin Theory. But that being said, Steve, who do you have winning this?
I'm still at a coin flip on this. I think I'm going to push towards John Cena.
Okay.
Because I think John Cena, I don't believe Triple H does anything without a contingency plan.
A plan B.
A plan B. I didn't even mean to go. But dude, this is where I'm going with this. I don't think Triple H does anything without a contingency plan. Theory has not done enough to go over on John Cena. Mm-hmm. I think the contingency plan is obviously an open challenge Monday night after Raw with either a return, a call up, or a debut. So I'm just going to say John Cena with the W. What about you?
I've got John Cena winning this as well, but I've got two concerns that I want to throw your way. Maybe not necessarily concerns, just more so scenarios. And it comes from the question of why is this kicking off WrestleMania? And I can think of two things. One, this match is kicking off WrestleMania because John Cena is going to win, and they want to start off the crowd hot with a big nostalgic win. The guy that is going to generate a pop and create excitement for the rest of the show.
Yep.
Or John Cena is so goddamn busy that he needs to get the fuck out of Los Angeles to film his next movie or next TV show, and he's not going to be around for Raw after Mania. So he's going to lose so that he can get out. I'm choosing to believe that it's the first one that I said, that they just want to start off the crowd hot. So I am going to say that John Cena is winning this match. So let's anything else to say, or can we move on here?
No, I think we can move on this one. I think we beat that one to death.
All right. Seth freaking Rollins versus Logan Paul in a singles match. Just, I guess, as a quick prelude into this, this feud has been more or less one-sided by Logan Paul getting a couple of knockouts on Seth freaking Rollins. Is this going to continue into WrestleMania, or will Seth Rollins get that W?
Santi, hands down, there is no way Logan Paul wins. It is Seth Rollins, hands down. You want to start the crowd off hot and let Cena win, and then have, if it say Seth and Logan goes next or somewhere mid card, I feel bad for anyone that goes after Seth and Logan if Logan wins. It'll kill the crowd. The crowd will genuinely go flat. Remember Roman Reigns winning the Rumble and how pissed they were. It's not good heat. It's go away heat. You and I have had this discussion time and time again. It's not good heat if Logan wins. It's go away heat, because genuinely he is an outsider, and we can talk about performers and all that kind of stuff in another video, or from like celebrity performances. But I truly believe Logan Paul wins. It's go away heat, and it will kill the entire crowd, because you watched Monday Night Raw the other night. The crowd was so alive for Rollins, and he's one of the only 3 in the company right now that gets that big of a reaction. Seth loses. Oh man, I would hate to be in LA.
Yeah. I've got Seth Rollins winning this one too. For as much positive that I talk about Logan Paul, I would say that I'm probably, one of the ones beating the drum the loudest in terms of Logan Paul being a good addition to the WWE. I do think that Seth Rollins is winning this one, because as much as I have no problems with outsiders holding prominent spots in the card, I have a problem with an outsider beating beating the hottest face in the company at the moment. I think he's hotter than Cody and hotter than Sami Zayn at the moment. Just those crowd reactions, I just don't see it. I don't see how they can justify a Logan Paul win here. That being said, I think this match is going to be phenomenal.
Oh, it's going to be an absolute banger, and Logan's going to have some real late 2.5 to 2 3/4 kickouts, and we're going to see something supernatural like he pulled off with Roman at SummerSlam there, or no, in Saudi Arabia, sorry, but it can't be Logan.
I agree.
Santi, I think I will say this: if there is any guarantee of any match that we have at Mania, it's a Seth Rollins win tonight.
All right,
or that's for me.
I think dude, we're 2 for 2. We've agreed on both of them. All right, next match: Trish Stratus, Lita, Becky Lynch versus Damage Control, Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky in a 6-woman tag match. I guess I'll go first on this one. I see Damage Control finally winning something. I see them finally winning, whether it's clean or whether it's with shenanigans. If it's with shenanigans, I see Trish Stratus turning. If it's clean, I see it causing a Trish Stratus turn. One or the other. There is no way that Trish Stratus doesn't come out of this with a feud with Becky Lynch going into SummerSlam with how close it is to Toronto.
Dude. Okay, so everybody, we are filming this live. So everybody that is watching, Santi and I have not discussed our predictions. He just took everything from me. I have nothing to say. Trish Stratus heel turn with a feud with Becky going into SummerSlam. Damage Control wins. And that's hands down it. I don't see this match going any other way. And I'm happy with a Trish Becky feud at SummerSlam. It takes a lot off Becky's plate for having to be virtually on every show. She can be still the road mom that she is. But this also, it could be a potentially great build. And we get Trish with another one of the 4 horsewomen, even though her retirement match was Charlotte. I'm okay with one more for Becky at SummerSlam. It's going to be great.
Yeah, so, I guess what's interesting is like what happens to the titles in that scenario. Like, do they have a match Raw after Mania and lose to another? Who cares? Honestly, who the hell cares about the women's tag titles? WWE doesn't care, so why should we? Anyways. moving on. Brock Lesnar versus the Nigerian giant Omas. And for those that are not in our Twitch stream right now, our viewers have an Omas emote that I know is about to get spammed to Kingdom Come. Again, Brock Lesnar versus Omas. Steve, I'll let you start off with this one since I started the last one. Who do you got here?
Honestly, I think this was originally Santi gonna be just an easy Brock Lesnar win with like trying to make Omas go over. But I don't know if you've been watching social media over the last couple of days, but I don't think it's just your chat. I think like the internet in itself people are going over on Omas. People are really starting to feel his vibe. Maybe I'm biased because I'm seeing it with everything else, but
Steve, call the Omas fans by their name. You know,
Homo sapiens.
There we go. Call
the Homo sapiens. Brock just signed a 1-year extension. He's going to be at WrestleMania in Philly. Brock Lesnar is not going to lose his final match in Philly. Omas is going to go over, maybe with some shenanigans from the reuniting Hurt Business just to help, but I'm going to go with Omas.
Yeah, I'll keep it quick. I'm going with Omas as well. I think Brock, we can safely say, is at that point in his career where WWE is better off utilizing him and building other superstars. Although Omas looks like he could be 19 or 75. He is young. He's in his late 20s. So he's going to be in the company for a really, really long time. So I have Omas going over here, again, whether it's with shenanigans or not. My question to you, Steve, is, do you believe the hype that this has potential to be the worst match in WrestleMania history?
No. Do you not remember Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez?
Well, I mean, this has a lot of parallels to it, right? It has a lot of parallels to it.
Here's the thing. The build to this match has been horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
Like with WWE having to edit, especially, dude, like even last night or on Monday, it was worse. It was horrible. The build for this has been terrible. Brock has been made to look like Ricochet going up against Braun Strowman, which I cannot stand, because we are talking about like Brock Lesnar. Like Omas is big, but Brock Lesnar could still eat him.
Yeah, I think you know, like watching the go home episode of Monday Night Raw, there was a sequence where Brock Lesnar was running at full speed from the ropes, trying to tackle Omas. And I saw a glimpse of what could be a really fun car crash of a match at that moment. I was like, if this match is going to be Omas, you know, lumbering and, you know, chopping Lesnar and just like really just lame ass moves, could be the worst match in WrestleMania history. If we are going to see a potential car crash a la Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg at WrestleMania 30, whatever it was, where it was just 5 minutes of them going through barricades, hitting finishers on each other and going at full tilt, I'm in. I think it could be a fun 5-minute car wreck if they let Brock Lesnar just go at full speed like he was trying to knock down Omos. I think that could be a lot of fun. I don't buy the concept of this being potentially the worst WrestleMania match of all time. You can say, oh, well, Brock was already in one of the worst WrestleMania matches of all time versus Goldberg at WrestleMania 20, but that was just terrible booking. Like, you don't book two guys that are on their way out, right? You always book one guy who's on his way out versus a guy who's on his way up. Right, because then somebody cares, even though somebody doesn't. In that match, neither of them cared. In this match, Lesnar still has a year in his contract, so he's going to care. And Omos has everything to gain from this match. He is not a dumb man. I'm sure he understands that this is his make or break performance. So I'm gonna give Omos and Brock Lesnar the benefit of the doubt. Sure, I think there is a 5% chance that it could be the worst WrestleMania match of all time, but I think it also has an equal amount of chance, call it 5-10% chance of being a really fun car wreck that we're going to talk about the next night. So, yeah, going Omos.
Yeah, I still think we get a surprise of the Hurt Business returning, with Omos being the head of it, which I'm not against. I'm not against either. I'm not against that either. All right, let's move on to a match that has had no build.
Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. I'll take this one first. This is weird. If there was ever a credible WWE women's superstar to beat Bianca Belair, they've got it. It's Asuka coming back as this version of her, this Japanese, like true Japanese Asuka that was known over there for her Kana gimmick. But you wouldn't know it based on this build because they're tag teaming with each other whenever Bianca Belair is getting attacked by the likes of Chelsea Green and Carmella. Asuka's coming out to make the save. It's bizarre. Like it's a build-up that's almost just no build-up because they've created no friction between the two. It's bad.
Yeah. The only reason I'm going to talk to this match, Santi, is because of the credibility and the two people that are in this match. But this build is very New Japan. And I'm going to say this for a reason. New Japan feuds always seem to have a respectful, developed rivalry. Yes, we are both top of our game. We both are very good at what we do. We don't always have to genuinely hate each other. This is just going to be a match out of respect. Like, I don't see a heel in this match.
No, there isn't. There isn't a heel in this match.
So, like I said, this is a very, very New Japan style build. I've hated it. The only thing that made this match really relevant were the two video packages that were made, last Monday Night Raw? And they had an Asuka build package and they had a Bianca build package. Yeah. Very early 2000s Ruthless Aggression era style, where they used to do the stuff for like Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar and that kind of thing, which I did enjoy that, but there's been nothing else. Like, really, there's been nothing else. This is actually the match, and it's not even because, and everybody in the chat can say whatever they want, this has nothing to do with my feeling on Bianca Belair. I just don't care. And this is a women's title.
Yeah, and I don't think it's that we don't, because I don't care either. And I don't think it's that we don't care about Bianca Belair. I also right now don't care about Asuka. And I really like Asuka. And that's the problem when, and maybe this is just a logistical problem of a face versus face feud. It's tough to get on board with this. But they've just not created any friction between the two. And it isn't working for me in terms of like getting me excited because there's been such a lack of a story and lack of friction between the two. I just see no reason why the title should change hands here. So I'm going to keep it on Bianca Belair.
See, I'm going the other way around. I'm going Asuka win, but I'm going with Bianca heel turn.
I don't see that, dude. If anything, I see an Asuka heel turn. But all right, we'll see how that goes. So we go from a match with no build, Steve, to a match with a terrible fucking build in Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I have a lot to say about this, so I'm going to let you get started here.
You can let me go first.
You go first.
I disagree. That the build for Rhea Charlotte has not been terrible. It's not been the best, but I have seen worse on this card. And how they developed this with kind of Dom taking the original lead and that original promo between Dom and Charlotte, where Rhea really didn't have to say a word, made Rhea look actually quite strong, which I enjoyed. Then you've got Rhea just being this all-around beast and this dominance in her. There is nothing. You're going up against arguably one of the greatest female performers of all time. And right now, Charlotte looks like the underdog in this match. I truly believe the way they've built this, Charlotte does look like the underdog. Everybody in the chats is going to say Rhea is going to win this match. I genuinely believe Rhea is going to win this match. So at the end of the day, you're going to finally put over a young superstar who finally deserves her WrestleMania moment. And yes, everyone's been saying, oh, Judgment Day's garbage. Judgment Day's horrible. A lot of this entire Mania is going to be circled around the Judgment Day. So having arguably the leader of Judgment Day, because Rhea is the one that kind of carries that entire group, put the title on her. There's nothing wrong with the build of this because it's going to be proven in the ring. This is going to be a 4.5-star match. These girls are going to tear the proverbial roof off of this building, and I can't wait for it. I genuinely cannot wait for this match.
I think the match is going to be fantastic. I disagree in terms of I think this feud has been borderline poo-poo caca, pee-pee poo-poo. It's been awful. Okay. Look, I was digging Rhea Ripley not talking, and then she started talking, but then her talking was about like how much she respected Charlotte Flair and that Charlotte Flair is the person to beat. So like putting her on a pedestal. Okay, fine. But then it kind of negates the whole being silent and being menacing and being scary that we had at the beginning. All right. Yeah. I was willing, because anything that Rhea Ripley does, I mean, she could literally super kick me in the throat and I would thank her. Anything that Rhea Ripley does, I'm on board with. And then we have the Charlotte promos. Bafflingly awful. Some of the worst promo work I have seen from a top superstar in the last 5 years. She literally lost her cool when she was trying to talk about her fear and perseverance, and the crowd is whatting her, and she literally tells off the crowd that this is important for me, don't what me. Like, what? And she, like, I didn't even mean to say what there, but like, yeah, what? Like, yeah. It was just such a bafflingly bad promo of her talking about her fears and that like she's all of this perseverance and all of the pressure that she has to go through on a daily basis. And then she talks about how awesome her family legacy is, how big her penis is by all standards. Diamonds are forever or whatever the fuck. It's just bad. It's just so bad, dude. I'm hoping it doesn't make sense. But like if Rhea wasn't part of Judgment Day, it would make sense to do a double turn here, because but it doesn't make sense, which is part of the reason why Charlotte's promos have been so bad that she has gotten go away heat.
Yep. Rhea
is the heel and she's got the please punt me in the face, mommy love. Everyone loves Rhea. So yep. Even just in the dynamic of the face versus heel here, it's weird and it's not working for me, even though the match in ring I think is going to be fantastic.
It's kind of funny you say that, because I don't want to keep reverting back to the WWE Legends shows, but I've watched the Charlotte one recently, and that promo that you just discussed, I felt like she was just reiterating everything she said on the documentary about how she couldn't find herself in the shadow of her dad and all this stuff. It's just like, you are literally a 14-time women's champion. You have basically superseded a lot of your dad's legacy and created one that probably no woman is ever going to touch. What is wrong with you? You are one of the best female performers of all time. Why are you so frustrated, and why are you losing yourself in? And yes, okay, I can say this because all I am is a wrestling podcaster on YouTube, but a very simple promo that you have been doing for years. All you have to talk about is how Rhea's never been on your level. That's all you have to do. Make her feel small. And you couldn't even do a basic promo to make yourself look like the legend that you technically are. You know, like, am I wrong?
No,
am I wrong?
No. Like I said, I think the promo work, especially on the Charlotte side, has been bafflingly bad. That's why I said it's been just a god awful Absolutely god awful build to this. I almost think it just would have been better with Rhea not talking to her. I think just not talking to her and creating like that, those mind games from the Judgment Day. But I don't know.
I'll tell you right now, dude. Now that we talked about it, I agree with you. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll take that as a win. Let's go. We convinced Steve of something. All right. Let's move on here. We are now moving on to, oh my God, get the popcorn ready. Get your hands ready to slap some meat, Steve, because this is going to be a meat slapping, meaty man slappity slap fest. We've got Gunther, Zayn General versus the Celtic Warrior Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre, the Scottish Psychopath, in a triple threat match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship in what could arguably be the best match of the night. Whoever has to go after these three, I'm so sorry, because the crowd is going to be exhausted.
This is 100% sorry. This is hands down match of WrestleMania. You had Clash at the Castle. Gunther versus Sheamus, which arguably was match of the year last year.
Yeah, I think it was match of the year.
Now you put Drew McIntyre in there on the grandest stage of them all. Dude, this will be match of Mania. Please continue.
Yeah. I before we get into our predictions, how absolutely bonkers cool is it that you look at the United States title? It's being defended against arguably one of the greatest WWE superstars of all time. Yep. And then we have the Intercontinental Champion being defended against two future WWE Hall of Famers, former world champions, and is being talked about in a regard where it can main event any show, that sans Roman Reigns. How cool is it that we live in an era where the mid-card title, I don't think the mid-card titles have felt this special since the early 90s, late 80s.
I agree with you. 100%. They haven't. I think back when it was like Warrior, like dropping the IC title to get the world title, Shawn versus Scott Hall in the ladder match. That's when the last time I remember the IC title being relevant. And now we're, like you just said, two first ballot Hall of Famers. Gunther, who literally in the next year will be in the world title picture and is carrying it with such
prestige.
I was gonna, you said prestige. I was gonna say elegance, because he does it in such a proper way that I feel more interested. I'm not, but I feel like I should be more interested in the IC title than I should be in the main event. Like, I think this should be a main event. It should main event night one.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it feels that special. It can main event. Like, if it main evented night one, do you think anyone is opposed to it? Not a soul.
Not a soul.
Not a soul. I think there's just matches, with a bit more of a marquee reach. But again, no one would be upset with Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre main eventing night one. But yeah, we got to pick a winner. And I think this might be the toughest one to pick. I think out of the three, the one that I think has the least amount of chance of winning is Drew McIntyre. I am still taking Zayn General Gunther.
I appreciate that one. I think we're at a point now that Gunther has shown how he can carry it. My only concern is what happens with Imperium if he drops it. Like, do they fall into the mid card and just kind of, unfortunately, and I hate to say this, do they end up as hit row? Just kind of completely.
Well, irrelevant. It depends, right? Like, this might be an old school situation where it's the passing away of the Intercontinental Championship to go towards the main event, right? Yeah. Like, we haven't had that of the Intercontinental Championship and the US Championship in a long time. Like, that was the standard from the 80s to the Ruthless Aggression era. That was the standard. You lose the Intercontinental Championship, you're most likely going to a top of the card push, right? Yeah. So I would like to think that since Triple H is from that era and understands clearly the value of something like the Intercontinental Championship, that it would actually be a step up for him to lose the Intercontinental Championship rather than a step down. You know, you mentioned Imperium. I do think that they're going to be making a an appearance in this match because as far as I know, I might be completely wrong here. I didn't see their name in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which probably means that they're going to get screen time here at WrestleMania. And I cannot wait for Samantha to say Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. I can't wait for her to say all of their names in her accent. But I think we're going to have interference from all of Imperium, and that's going to lead to a Gunther win because a triple threat match, for those that don't know, technically is no disqualification.
No DQ. That's why it's going to be such a banger. By the way, she liked my video the other day.
Oh, nice.
Anyways, I hate that I can't say Drew McIntyre because I really want Drew to actually at least have some relevancy of a WrestleMania moment with thousands of people, which he didn't get in the pandemic era of the Thunderdome. But this is also Sheamus as a potential Grand Slam champion, winning the IC title. So I got to go with Sheamus.
Yeah, I just don't think you can pick wrong. And I think that's a beautiful win-win scenario for everybody. I don't think anyone gets mad if any of these guys win.
Yeah, exactly. For the people that are younger, I want to say just one more thing before we move on from this match. For the people that are younger, sit down and just appreciate what you're about to watch in this match. This isn't sports entertainment. This is not like WWE cinematics. This match is traditional, like 1940s to 1980s, just big men in trunks doing a wrestling match. And it's all these men have the respect of the entire locker room. These guys are going to put on, and this is like the first time I've sworn since we started this one, a fucking classic. I will not be moving from my seat in Miami when I watch this match. I can't not wait.
All right, let's move on here. We have Edge versus, now officially being listed as the Demon, Finn Balor, in a Hell in a Cell match, which we barely have been recently confirmed is not going to be the red cage. It's going to be the traditional cage that they seem to use for WrestleMania matches like Shane versus The Undertaker and Mania 32. I'll jump in here first. So I guess I'll start off with my prediction. I have the Demon Finn Balor winning this. I think this is going to be the WrestleMania that catapults Judgment Day to the very top of the card. I know they're already there, but now like to the top of the card with justification that these are the guys that are going to run shit for the next year. So I do have Finn Balor winning here. I just don't want to see any more shenanigans of like God coming down from the heavens to help Edge win, kind of like how he did with Roman Reigns. I don't want to see that. I want to see just these two just have the nastiest Hell in a Cell match imaginable. I know that there's rumors of the Brood maybe potentially making an appearance, either getting physical or being part of Edge's entrance. But one more point that I'll make here, please end it after this. It can't go any further than this. You know, I said it, you know, when Edge was attacked by Finn Balor during his US title match versus Theory, I said the words, "We are in Edge's final year of his career. We are wasting them by him just only feuding with the Judgment Day." And then he grabs the mic the next week and says, "I have been wasting the last year of my career on the Judgment Day." So clearly the sentiment is the same there. This has to be it. No more of Edge versus the Judgment Day. I don't even want to see those two cross paths, even on the Monday night after Mania. That's it. No more. Demon Finn Balor wins, and I cannot wait for a Demon Finn Balor WrestleMania entrance, baby.
Dude, this is, who doesn't love a Hell in a Cell match? First off, who doesn't love a Hell in a Cell match? And a Hell in a Cell at Mania, when, I can't remember, what was it, 25? No, 28?
Wait, what are you asking? No. We had one at 32, Taker versus Shane, and then 28.
Sorry, that was it.
Yeah.
But I have Finn. Two reasons. Edge doesn't need it. He's still going to put on a classic, which he always does at Mania. Finn needs this. Also, we've also said, both of us, this is going to be built around Judgment Day. This entire setup for Mania. Everyone's like saying disband Judgment Day. Why? Judgment Day has been a staple on both shows for the last year and actually done fantastic work with Rhea and one of the best heels in the business right now in WWE and Dominic Mysterio, because that kid is doing phenomenal. We are apparently getting Gangrel as part of the entrance, and apparently there's going to be a spot with Damian Priest from what I have read. This match is going to be probably a 40-minute absolute beating of the two of each other, and I can't wait for a Purple Demon. Like, I'm really looking forward to a Purple Demon. Yeah. I don't know why. It just is a draw to me, but a Purple Demon entrance to walk into hell. Yeah. This is going to be one of the matches I'm most excited about. Like, I can't believe we've done the two back to back, but yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be Finn, but even if it's Edge, I don't care. But yes, please be done with it after this.
Yeah, I think my only concern with it being, 40 plus minutes would be, if you remember, I mean, granted, it was in front of no one. WrestleMania 36, Edge versus Randy Orton, that unsanctioned, that match, that felt too long, because that was 45 minutes, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, it was.
So again, not in front of fans, so maybe it would have been a different story had we had fans. But yeah, like I don't think these guys can do anything wrong. That being said, Edge versus AJ Styles last year, we said the same thing. This is going to be match of the night, and then it was kind of disappointing. So fingers crossed we don't get that. Let's move on though. All right. Next, we are, let's just bang these off. I've been avoiding these. Steve, women's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag Match. Who's winning this?
The new greatest women's tag team on the planet in the complaint department. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. Let's go.
Dude, yes.
If the complaint department does not become their name, I don't care about it, but it's going to be the complaint department.
Dude, I'm with you. I want Team Karen to win. I'm just excited to see Chelsea Green on the WrestleMania card. And sure, okay, Sonya Deville. Sorry, I meant to say Sonya de Glock or Sonya de Colt 45 or Sonya de AR-15. I don't know what she's carrying these days. I know she got booked for carrying an unlicensed firearm. So that's
it was licensed. She was just carrying.
Oh, sorry, in wrong state. Yeah,
in the wrong state. By the way, but credit to where credit is due. Sonya Deville has actually done some great work over the last year with being the thing. Like, she deserves this moment to have her hand raised at Mania.
Sure.
So I really think that both these women deserve at least some form of WrestleMania moment. So it's the complaint department for me.
Okay, so that's what I want. They're not winning though. It's gonna be Ronda and Sonya and Shayna Baszler. They're gonna set them up to be the contenders for the tag titles. I'm incredibly confident of that. So I'm gonna say that it's gonna be. I'm gonna go with the safe choice and say, you know what's funny? I recorded my predictions for TikTok, and I said Chelsea Green and Sonya de Glock, but logically it is Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey.
Still a better tag team.
Yeah. Okay. And the men's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way match. I don't want to completely gloss over this one, because if they are given 10 minutes, this could be a really fun match. If they're given 10 minutes, this could be a really fun, crazy car crash of a match.
Who's in this again? Viking Raiders, Braun and Ricochet, Alpha Academy, and Street Profits, right?
That's right.
Okay. So here, this one's interesting because you've got, like we said with the Sheamus match and the Gunther, we got a bunch of big meaty men that are gonna, by the way, they are putting Otis over like crazy right now.
Yeah.
This man, to body, and I mean absolutely body Braun Strowman like he did, turn around, catch Montez at a midair.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful spot.
That was a great spot.
Yeah.
I think there's still shenanigans in this. I think we get Maxine involved in this. That is going to potentially cost Otis. and Chad Gable, and we finally see Otis leave the Alpha Academy. I think there's a lot that can happen here, like even like a Street Profits tension. But at the end of the day, it's going to be Braun Strowman and Ricochet. Like,
yeah, that's probably the safe choice. I'm going to go with Otis and Chad Gable. I think the company's super over on both of those guys, and maybe, you know, they reward them by having them win this match at WrestleMania. Either way, let's move on to arguably my favorite build towards a WrestleMania match, not including, you know, something super long term like the bloodline stuff, but just like a WrestleMania season build. This has been magnificent. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio, father versus son. God damn it, man. Like, Dominic Mysterio has become a national treasure. Talk about somebody who did not fold under pressure. Yep. Right? You know, they say in situations, right, if you can survive the pressure, you become a diamond. And I think that that's what we've had here. I think we have unlocked the full potential of Dominic Mysterio by letting him loose and not being, you know, the next in line for the Mysterio throne and, you know, trying to be that luchador, but just really letting him do what he wants to do. It almost feels like he's out there not even scripted, and I think it's just working wonders for him. And I think, you know, that leash that has been, you know, they've given him a lot of leashes because he's working with Rey Mysterio. I'm sure it's Rey Mysterio that, you know, if he was working with anybody else, I don't think that he'd be given this leash. But this feud has been phenomenal, and I can't wait for this match. What are your thoughts on this?
I reiterate every sentiment that you just said. Dominic, since what was it, Thanksgiving, when they first started this, the showing up at the house and the segments that you and I had been screaming for like 18 months since we started Straight Shoot, saying we need more backstage, we need more like the Triple H Randy Orton at the house. I don't want to bring up Brian Pillman, but at Brian Pillman's house in the 90s and all that stuff. Like, that stuff was gold, and they utilized social media to the perfect avenue to do it. This build was great. There's no go away heat on Dom, which he originally had, and has turned to genuine bloody, like, we hate you, but we want more. Like, we want so much more of, and his promos, like, his promos are getting better by the week. And I think this is what you get when you put a young up and coming wrestler that is still not at their full potential with 3 seasoned vets. Mm-hmm. And I will, because you think about it, Finn Balor is 20 plus years. Damian Priest ain't no spring chicken. Like, he's young, but he's still very good at what he does. And Rhea Ripley, she's one of the best in the business for the women. You put Dominic Mysterio in there to ride. It's not about working at the show. It's the rides on the road and what he's learning off camera, obviously learning from his father as well. This is a complete 180 to Dominic at the start of 2022. And I'm happy about this. So for my prediction, I don't think Rey wants to go over on Dom. I think this is a Dom win, and I think we get a clean sweep for the members of Judgment Day. Yeah, so I almost wish that I had not recorded my predictions video until we talked about this, because I'm now leaning more towards Dom based on what you said there. I'll stick to what I said though in the video that I recorded. I'm gonna go with Rey Mysterio. I do have a tough time seeing Rey Mysterio take a loss the night after getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. If this was his retirement match, I'd be, yep, he's losing. A Mysterio retirement match is going to get advertised as a Mysterio retirement match. It's going, and I wouldn't be surprised if it continues to be, if we do get a retirement match from this feud where it becomes a, you know,
loser leaves, or if Dom loses, he leaves the Judgment Day, and if Mysterio loses, he retires. I wouldn't be surprised if we get that at SummerSlam or next year's WrestleMania, for example. And because I think that there's a lot more to this story, I am going to pick Rey Mysterio here, because I want to see a whiny Dom to the levels of, you know, he only got himself a BMW. Like, I want to see more of that. And I think a loss would allow for more of that over the coming months. So I'll take Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, one thing I want to bring up here, Santi, and I've been reading, obviously you and I have been streaming a lot, talking about WrestleMania over the last couple of weeks. Do we get, and it pains me to say this, does Dom come out with his Judgment Day music, or does he go literally uber super heel and we hear Viva la Raza and he comes out in the lowrider? What do we get? Because if he does it, I think I might throw up a little bit, but that is like the most genuine heat that I think he could draw. And everyone believes it's going to happen.
I don't know if he comes out to the Eddie music, but I think it's a huge missed opportunity if he doesn't come out to the lowrider. First of all, they're in the land of lowriders, Los Angeles. You got, and the previous promo with, you know, I wish I was Eddie's son and that you never existed. Like, come on, you got to come out of their lowrider. You got to do something Eddie related. And I think the lowrider, you know, as part of a grand WrestleMania entrance is the way to go. So I'm going to go with Rey Mysterio winning, but I do think that we get the lowrider.
Yeah, I'm going to throw up.
Dude, what if it's not a lowrider? What if he comes out in a Mercedes?
Nah, dude, I say he comes out in a purple Judgment Day lowrider.
Oh, that'd be way better. That'd be way better.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on here. We're almost done here with our card. Next, we have what I genuinely believe, and it still could, main event night one. We have brothers versus brothers, the Usos, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso versus KO Zania, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. And you know, for all this hoopla about Cody finishing the story, shut up. This is the real finish the story. It's time for Sami and Kevin Owens to finish the story. I'm taking KO Zania here.
Same.
Yeah.
Like, hands down. I think Kevin Owens said it the best during that promo when he advertised the new shirt. He said the MVP of the WWE over the last year has been Sami Zayn. I echo those sentiments, hands down. Sami Zayn has done everything right in every facet of the business.
Yeah.
If they are not rewarded with tag titles, it is a slap to the face to both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, especially Sami Zayn. I also think this is a great way to begin the downfall, the slow downfall of the bloodline. Mm-hmm. My reasons of saying that is when we get into the next match. But at this point, the Usos have done it all. They don't need this. I think protecting Roman is more important because the walls are caving in on Roman right now. So I think, you know what? The Usos lose the titles. Cool. We're moving on to something new. Imperium can get a shot. Everybody can get a shot at the new champions. And when was the last time Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn held the title? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely cannot remember. These two are, again, first ballot Hall of Famers. At
this point, yeah. Can you believe the trajectory of Sami Zayn's career since last WrestleMania?
Dude,
can we have an I told you so moment?
No, of course we can, but I was about to say it for both of them.
Yeah.
Because they both proved themselves last Mania that they can do it all.
Yeah.
Sami in the most ridiculous acting like a jackass with a bunch of jackasses, and Kevin Owens for one straight month carrying a feud of unknown certainty with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And both of them had 4.5 star matches.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, they had for me, the two most memorable things that happened at WrestleMania last year.
Yeah.
Was the Austin KO thing with Austin McMahon and Pat McAfee. Okay, we can add that. But we also had Sami Zayn doing incredible work, letting Wee Man body slam him.
Dude, I told you, like, immediately during our review, I remembered it was during our review of WrestleMania. I said that match made Sami Zayn a star.
Yep. Because
he proved that he can he can make something out of nothing. Yes. That match, if it's anyone else, would have been the worst match in WrestleMania history. But because Sami Zayn and his everlasting professionalism didn't go in at it half-ass, he went in at it at full speed to make it the most entertaining thing he possibly could, and he succeeded at it. And I think the WWE brass saw that. I think they saw, holy shit, we have a guy here that was able to have an incredibly entertaining 4.5 star match with Johnny freaking Knoxville that included a giant freaking mousetrap, and he got body slammed by Wee Man, and we had the Chip and Dale dancer from Jackass also appear. He made that into a memorable WrestleMania moment. So,
sir, you also forgot about Mae Young's hand baby.
Yes, yeah, Mae Young's hand baby made an appearance in that. All grown up. So it is just wonderful to see the trajectory that both of their careers took, from wonderful performances in the face of what could have been terrible performances at last year's WrestleMania. And here they are in what many believe should be a WrestleMania main event at the end of night one. I think we're both in agreement here then. I think we can move on. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are winning this.
Just one more thing. So I'm watching our chat while we're talking. Kevin Owens heel turn? No
Not
shot.
a chance.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. Won't happen.
Not a chance. And I'll just real quick, like, the reason for that is we are at the end of the story. This yes. we're not in the middle, right? We're not at the rising climax. Like, this is the end of the story. Right. Yeah. A lot of us, I think a lot of us initially wanted it to be Sami going after Roman. But like, the story from the beginning was always Sami and the Usos. Always. It was always that. Roman Reigns didn't come into play in the Sami storyline until after Clash of the Castle. So this is the end. This is a culmination to almost a year-long feud. You don't extend it by an arbitrary heel turn that really doesn't add anything. It just needs to be a feel-good moment, if that's how it's going to be, or a heartbreak moment. They need to pick one of the two, and I don't think that there's going to be shenanigans in this match, like a turn.
No, this is it. I think we could maybe get I don't even think we get Solo. I really don't even think we get Solo, because they're going to have Solo protecting Roman.
Right.
So this is going to be a straight up badass 20, 22, 25 minute match, and near falls, some pain. The one thing is, I think we get Jay taking the corner of the ring buckle bomb from KO, and I'm gonna cringe at that, because that's ugh. But yes,
it's a nasty move.
Kevin and Sami, let's move on.
All right, let's move on here to the main event of the night. We have the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns going up against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Steve, what have you got to say on this?
Oh, man, I've been going back and forward on this for weeks, and the promos and the build over the last 2 weeks have not helped. But I'm going to say one thing that's going to be probably the biggest hot take of this. Cody doesn't need this. I don't think Cody needs his WrestleMania moment a year and a half into his return. Like, yeah, okay, torn pec, feud with Seth, whatever. But Cody, he's not old, but he's not young. He's got probably another 7 or 10 years in him. I don't think, with the story of the bloodline and with Roman, and obviously the 1,000 days being a massive, massive factor in all of this, I don't think Cody needs this now. Maybe in 3 or 4 months, maybe next WrestleMania. But I do not think Cody Rhodes wins this. I am going with our tribal chief. He will get his 1,000 days. He will lose at SummerSlam to probably Cody or in a triple threat against somebody else like Seth and Cody. But it's Roman. I do not see a scenario where WWE has the guy that they have been handpicking since 2015 to not get the 1,000-day run that they have put his trajectory on. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, for those that are listening live right now and those that are listening after the fact, there is going to be another episode that we're going to be recording immediately after this called "What If Roman Reigns Wins?" And I think you and I are going to have a lot to say because, dude, I also think that Roman Reigns is going to win this match. I just don't see it. Like, I don't see how you can justify breaking up a nearly 1,000-day reign on a half-baked feud that's only lasted a month.
Yep.
I do, however, believe that it could be broken after 1,000 days at SummerSlam once this feud is 4 or 5 months long, but a half-baked 1 month feud between these two, where they've only really been in the ring with each other twice. Both of them really entertaining, don't get me wrong, but they've only ever been in the ring twice with each other. I just have a tough time seeing how you can justify taking the titles off of Roman at that moment in time. I
think there's more to the story.
I think there's way more to the story. I think we're at the tip of the iceberg here.
And what is it? I just tried to look it up. We are between about 937 to 934 to 940 days that Roman has been champion. You're gonna take it from him now? Really? Bruno Sammartino is in that top 5 twice. If he loses at SummerSlam, he goes into the top 5 and pushes Bruno Sammartino into 6th. It can't happen. Are you really like this? Is Santi? You and I have cheered against Roman so many times.
Yeah,
I think you were cheering for Drew at Clash. I think there's been a few where you and I have both.
Yeah, said, I know you were cheering for Logan.
Jesus Christ. You actually just shut me up for a minute. But no, like you and I have cheered against Roman for a very, very long time. I believe this is the only time that I can hands down say like I can't cheer against Roman in this match. Like this is one of it's history making. Roman wins this, he wins right through into SummerSlam.
Yeah. There's no reason for him to lose it at Backlash in Puerto Rico or Money in the Bank in London. Like it would be SummerSlam if anything, like in another giant stadium like Ford Field. So I think you and I are in agreement. I think the tribal chief retains, but it opens up a really interesting dynamic where the rest of the bloodline lost their gold, but their tribal chief is still on top, which I think sets us up here for our next conversation that we're going to have here of what happens if Roman Reigns wins. But dude, overall, like this WrestleMania, man, like I said, on paper, I will never make judgments until the bell rings at the end of the main event. On paper, this is the best card I've ever seen since I've become a wrestling fan in 2002. I haven't seen a better Mania card from top to bottom as good as this. As well balanced with tag team matches, triple threat matches, gimmick matches, title matches. Like, dude, it's in long-term storylines. Like, it's just... I know, aside from Omas and Brock Lesnar, this truly feels like a Triple H WrestleMania.
Oh, absolutely. And I have a feeling we are going to be kissing the proverbial ring of Triple H at that. They do the press conference at the end of it. And if Twitter is not blowing up saying thank you, Hunter. If this is one of the best ones, if they're not saying thank you, Hunter, by the end of this, then wrestling fans need to show a hell of a lot more respect, because this man has put together a primo card, and I am so goddamn excited. Like, I cannot wait to get down to Miami.
So two questions.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt. Does Bray Wyatt appear at this WrestleMania?
I would have said no if I had not watched the video earlier today. And it was a video with Alexa Bliss. And Alexa Bliss has confirmed she will be in the stadium backstage for Mania in some form or context. I think we get some form of Bray, but I just don't know what. Maybe it all depends who wins the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I think that's where it depends. If Bobby wins, or if I don't see the feud with LA Knight starting. I don't know. I can't. I think yes. But if it's not, I understand. And I cannot wait to hear your opinion on this, because you have been shitting on Bray Wyatt for 2 straight weeks.
Okay, I want you to ask me the direct question. I want you to ask it directly. Ask me.
Santi, do we get Bray Wyatt?
Who cares is the real answer. If we get him, cool. If we don't get him, also cool, because this WrestleMania card has already been a top 5 WrestleMania card and top 5 WrestleMania build without him. I personally believe that he has single-handedly ruined Bobby Lashley's momentum with you know, whatever this fugazi of an injury is. Some people are like, oh, he's limping. Fuck you. Cody Rhodes did an entire match with a torn pec. I heard, do you know what the other rumor that I heard, Steve, was? He broke his finger. Oh my God.
I saw the other day he has no cast on his hands.
Homie, you wrestled once in the past 6 months. All right. If you can't handle a little broken pinky or a little rolled ankle to do your spooky wookie backstage crap, I don't want to see you anymore. I'm done with Bray Wyatt.
Okay, I'm going to pull up a video of you reacting to Bray Wyatt's return in San Diego.
That's fine. I loved his return. I don't see that as a gotcha moment. I love Bray Wyatt. I'm not saying I don't like Bray Wyatt. I love Bray Wyatt. I'm saying this has been shit.
Hold on. You just said Bobby Lashley ruined, or Bray Wyatt ruined Bobby Lashley's momentum, right?
Yes.
Bobby Lashley, who cannot cut a promo without MVP. Bobby Lashley, who, yes, okay, he's a good performer. He's not a great performer. The only thing Bobby Lashley is big. And the biggest thing when you go into a feud with Bray Wyatt, you need to be able to talk. LA Knight came out of that feud looking like $1 million fucking dollars. They just couldn't find someone with him to go to Mania, which I still think we're going to get LA Knight Stone Cold Steve Austin as a surprise, because LA Knight's going to be like, LA Mania, why don't you have LA Knight on the card? Like they kind of did with the who was that faction with Alberto Rusev in Dallas.
The League of Nations.
They had it with the League of Nations. We're going to get something similar, I truly believe, with LA Knight. So LA Knight's going to get his moment. So the work LA Knight did with Bray Wyatt was fantastic, and he came out of that feud looking like the better star. Bobby Lashley could not carry his weight in this Bray Wyatt feud.
We didn't get anything.
He couldn't do it. He couldn't talk. Little kid games, spooky dollhouses. That's all he had. At least Bray can talk on the mic. Like, Bobby Lashley is not that good of a performer. Simple as that. They shouldn't have put Bray and Bobby together.
Oh, that we can agree with. That we can agree with 1,000,000%.
Yeah, that was an L. I think that's the only L Triple H has taken.
Yeah, it's a terrible decision to put those two together. Absolutely, because like you said, like it requires somebody that can talk to to match the zaniness of Bray Wyatt. All of Bray Wyatt's best feuds are against people that can carry their weight on the mic. Yes. John Cena, Firefly Funhouse, best fucking thing Bray Wyatt has ever done. One of my favorite things in WrestleMania ever. Absolutely hands down. The LA Knight stuff, you know, I think there's a lot of argument that Bray Wyatt made LA Knight. Fuck no. LA Knight made himself in that feud. LA Knight 100% made himself in that feud. And even then, you know, I hope, fingers crossed, he's got something at WrestleMania with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And even then, he's still here at the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. My problem is, we obviously don't know what the issue with Bray Wyatt is. Is it creative issues? Is it sorry?
It's a creative issue.
Okay, like, if it's a creative issue, my point stands that he ruined Bobby Lashley's WrestleMania momentum. Bobby Lashley came out looking like the next monster out of the Brock Lesnar feud. It required Brock Lesnar to cheat and use a low blow to beat Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley should have been in a marquee match at WrestleMania. But this decision to put him with Bray Wyatt, which already was a bad decision, but then this creative back and forth between Bray Wyatt and WWE and them not being able to get on the same page now has left Bobby Lashley in no man's island, thus ruining the WrestleMania momentum that he should have been garnering in a marquee match that he should have had at WrestleMania, because that could have been the LA Knight match. That could have been the LA Knight match, but you couldn't do it because you only gave these guys 3 weeks to do something with Bobby Lashley and you couldn't find anything.
Scenario, just thought of it, and I don't know why I didn't think about it sooner. Bobby Lashley comes out throwing a fit.
Oh, he should.
Like, and Bray shows up. Okay, you want me? I'm here. And no big fantastic entrance. Lights off, lights on. Bray's in the ring, ready to go as Bray. And then you've got your feud. Because you're not getting the kid games. You're not getting the dollhouse. You're not getting anything. You're getting the promos that Bray was cutting with LA Knight. I'm Bray Wyatt, blah, blah, blah. No howdy, no Firefly Funhouse gimmick. Just you get Bray.
I don't think we're going to get that, because if the problems were creative, I think Bray Wyatt probably wants this giant elaborate thing, right? Like, we're talking about somebody who's had one match since he's returned and nothing but vignettes and production, right? I just don't see it where he all of a sudden puts that aside and says, I'm just going to come out for a match impromptu with with pretty much no build. That, however, I do believe happens between Bobby Lashley and a potentially returning Randy Orton.
See, we could talk about how about this? Let's add a video to this. WrestleMania potential surprises.
Sure.
Let's add a video of that. We've dragged this on long enough. We've been doing this for an hour and 30 minutes. Here's our predictions for WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles. Santi and I are going to do a couple more videos for the people that are here shooting the shit with us. But yeah, let's do that. Let's do, what are the WrestleMania surprises?
Sure. All right, let's wrap this one up. If you're listening on podcast services, just make sure you leave a review. If you're watching this on YouTube, please consider subscribing, leave a comment, helps us out with the algorithm. Steve, where can people find you?
Guys, you can find me on twitch.tv/Mr. Tesh, and for the near future, TikTok /Mr. Tesh, depending on what happens. And then obviously all Straight Shoot platforms. Guys, do not forget WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. We will be streaming live from Miami, Florida at the Locals Studios. So make sure you go follow straightshoot.locals.com, because the final hour of each night will be strictly on locals.com. Santi, what about yourself?
Twitch.tv/SantiZap and TikTok at Mr. SantiZap. Also on Twitter. If you're watching live, you can do !Twitter to find that. Or if you're watching after the fact, just look at the description of the video and you'll find all the socials there. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Straight Shooter Wrestling Podcast. Take care and be good people. All right, that's
I got to leak.
For those that are listening, that is the end of episode